Welcome back everyone, it's Ben. I recently watched Mufasa, The Lion King, and I observed several things that are worth sharing and possibly you might have missed, especially if you're not a Lion King fan or haven't seen the first movie or the 1994 animated version. So spoiler alert, let's begin. Number 1. At the beginning of the film, we catch a glimpse of the majestic Pride Rock, and I never thought that this rock wasn't really like this in the first place. During the final fight between Mufasa and Taka against Kiros, the place where they fight is actually a cave. And when Rafiki casts some sort of earthquake by doing an enchantment on the ground, the cave collapses and forms into what we now know as Pride Rock. It kind of surprised me, actually. Number 2. Rafiki here is seen as a crazy monkey whom everyone doesn't like other than his one friend and considers not one of them because of his looks and visions that no one believes, and accusing him for talking to spirits and the moon and casting evil. Rafiki is like the odd one out or the black sheep among the white ones kind of thing. So the inner group of monkey with their some sort of leader made a voting poll to whether Rafiki stays with them or leave, and the entire troop of monkey concurs Rafiki to leave. This is where Rafiki starts his journey to find the place called Melele, basically where the Pride Rock is. Number 3. This movie has a lot of Simba references. Particularly, this scene where Mufasa is looking toward the rushing wild water is somewhat like a shot-by-shot remake from The Lion King where Simba acts the same, but the difference is that Simba is looking toward the rushing wildebeests. Speaking of wildebeests, a movie like this would never be complete without a major disaster, stampede. When Mufasa, Taka, and Sarabi are chased by Kiros' pride, they stumble upon what seems like an elephant stampede. This is a callback to The Lion King where Simba is running among the wildebeest stampede and Mufasa follows to save him. Number 4. Talking about the stampede, this canyon is very much like the one we've seen in The Lion King, where the stampede happened. Number 5. A couple of scenes in this movie have slow motion effects, which add more tension and emotion, especially moments where emotions and tensions has to be emphasized. Just to add a little bit sauce to the movie, it's like giving us a Zack Snyder kind of vibe, if you had been following Snyder's Justice League. Number 6. They fixed the facial expressions. Many fans were disappointed in The Lion King 2019 remake as it lacked emotions that could have been easily distinguished and could have had a huge impact from the viewer's perspective if they had done it through the character's face, not just through their lines. We can now clearly perceive how these characters react to their environment and the situations they are in. We can see happiness, sadness, anger, shock, smiles, and even evil smirk. Almost all human expressions are added to this movie. I think that's one of the best things they've done here. It kind of feels more authentic and relatable. Number 7. In this movie, there are scenes where Taka, later known as Scar, digs his claws into Mufasa's paws to save him. Ironically, these moments foreshadow how Mufasa is killed in the sequel. By the way, this is shown not just once, but twice actually. When they were cubs, and in the final act of the film. Number 8. Despite how many times Taka saves Mufasa, the only sincere moment is when they are just cubs. When Mufasa is about to be killed by Kiros, Taka, aka Scar, intervenes and instead receives Kiros' claws, marking the beginning of his identity as Scar. He's not saving Mufasa but instead repaying Mufasa for betraying him. And when Mufasa is about to get out of the water, Taka digs his claws again. This time, I really thought he would let Mufasa drown, but instead, he grabs him out of the water. Taka is still not saving Mufasa for any noble reason here. My theory is that he does this to redeem himself for being a brother to Mufasa. He might be doing this out of guilt for how good and generous Mufasa has been as a brother. Number 9. When Taka meets Mufasa, Taka still holds the belief that he is destined to be king. But this changes when Mufasa becomes more than just a male lion. Taka knows nothing beyond what their father told him about how to act like a king, which is terrible. But when Mufasa is pushed away to the females, he learns everything on the field as Eshi, his mother figure, teaches him the way females hunt. Given that Mufasa has strong faith in Melele, a paradise for all animals, he also now has hunting skills, sensing skills, and compassion toward others. I think this makes him 10 times better than Taka and deserving of being king. Number 10. I don't know if it's just me, but this movie seems to pull much inspiration from the original 1994 film, particularly in scenes like Mufasa evoking fear from the wild rush of water, similar to how Simba gets scared when he sees wildebeests running toward him. The dolly zoom effect here adds nostalgia. The elephant stampede and the wildebeest stampede share something in common when it comes to the perspective of a tragic event in both Lion King films. And then Mufasa reuniting with family, but only his mother, similar to how Simba returns home and reunites with Sarabi.
Alive? How can that be?
I'm here, Mother.
And for the bonus features, the movie begins with a voiceover from Mufasa's famous line, excerpted from the 2019 The Lion King remake, giving tribute to the original voice of Mufasa, James Earl Jones, who passed away last September of this year. At the end of the Disney opening logo, over the horizon, we can see familiar landscapes, the Pride Rock and Matterhorn. Lastly, Taka and Mufasa's voices deepen at the end of the film, even at their state of being young adults, sounding much like their 2019 remake counterparts.
Don't turn your back on me, Scar.
Oh no, Mufasa, perhaps you shouldn't turn your back on me.
So, that's it. These are my initial thoughts on Mufasa, the Lion King. I just feel so sad about how Taka ended up at the end of the film. Let me know in the comments if you noticed anything I didn't mention. Also, how did this movie work for you? Was it bad, good, or somewhere in between? I made a Superman video for the upcoming James Gunn Superman film, theorizing possible twists and plot points. If you're a Godzilla fan, I also made a Godzilla video, so you can check that out as well. Thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year, everyone. And I'll see you next year.